And anyway, one day my grandfather came up, was out working up the road from the school, and he started chatting to me. Up until then I hadn't met him, and because I was so young, I guess, and anyway he told me who he was, and he seemed to know all about me, so I thought he must be my grandfather. And I got to know him after that a bit, but I still weren't allowed to go out there. It wasn't until I ran away from the orphanage that I got to know my grandfather, and him and his wife, old Jess, never used to get on. He'd kind of knock off work on a Friday night and hop it down to the bus, the Waterman's Bay bus, with his pack on his back and take off for the weekend. And he'd take me with him sometimes, and we used to go out to, I forget exactly where we got off the bus, but we used to walk past Marmion huts and Sorrento, I think it was. Anyway, there was huts on the beach, and we'd go along. You could see right in the distance the point where his camp was, and we'd walk along the beach until we got to it, and that was just fantastic out there as a kid. It was really great.
So where did the bus stop?
I think it was at either Waterman's Bay or North Beach, I'm not sure.
So was that the end of the road?
It was a cream-coloured bus, I think, eh?
Was that the end of the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then you'd just go through the sand dunes?
No, walk along the beach.
Yeah.
But there was some shacks. I think it was Marmion. I can't remember exactly now. It must have been Marmion. Or was it Sorrento?
So that's a fair walk.
Yeah.
With your pack on and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the shack made of? What was it?
The shack was... I only found out recently. I was reading a book where it cost him, I think, 30 shillings for the timber for it. He bought an old house or something to get the timber and iron and asbestos, and he took it out on the back of a truck. Him and Dave, what was his name? Dave, it'll come to me. He was actually related on his wife's side, Thornander, Dave Thornander. They kind of shared the shack, you know. But Grandpa was out there mostly, I think.
So if they used a truck to get the stuff there, was there a road?
Yeah, there was a rough track that old Hillary had made, I think, went out there, and it finished up the back of the flat. There's like a flat section with like a little soak with fresh water, and somebody had sunk a 44-gallon drum into it. So the truck used to, I think, must have come up about as far as there, because I don't think you could get down on the beach. I don't remember any vehicles being on the beach.
So, just putting where the shacks were into perspective, context for today, with regard to where Hillary's boat harbour is, so...
Just about right on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the soak, whereabouts is that?
Well, I think that's the lake that they've opened up there now. There's a lawned area, but when I was out there it was just like a hole in the ground, and somebody dug it out and put a 44-gallon drum, and the Brumbies used to come in there to drink, and my grandfather taught me how to shoot bronze-wing pigeons there.
Oh, tell me about that.
What he said was, well, come along and I'll show you how to get a bronzy, because you're not allowed to shoot them now, of course. It's $1,000 fine. But they're worth $1,000 to eat one. They're beautiful to eat.
Okay.
Well, he said, come along and I'll show you how you catch a bronzy, and went down to the soak or near it, and he said, "Come on, we'll get in the bushes here and wait." And he says, "I'll tell you what happens." He says, "What actually happens is one will come in before dusk, and it won't drink water or anything. It'll just walk around the hole and inspect the place, and then it'll fly off." And he said, "If you shoot that one, you won't get the others, or you won't get a chance at the others." And he said, "Just wait." And this, sure enough, this bronzy did come in, and it flew off. And then later on, all its mates come back, and they're all around the water hole. And it said to me, "Now, whatever you do, don't shoot it in the body. It's got to be a headshot, because I don't want the meat mucked up."
On a pigeon?
On a pigeon. So he said, "Wait until you've got a couple of heads or 2 or 3 heads lined up in a row, and you got a better chance." So I waited and waited, and I did. I got one.
In the head?
Yeah. And he roasted it up. He had a fully set up cabin. Actually, it was like an old asbestos garage and metal, corrugated iron.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a pump in there and a big 44-gallon drum, and it was one of those lever pumps, a siphon.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to prime it, tip
Mm-hmm.
water down it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd pump, and you'd keep priming it with water, keep tipping water down. Eventually it'd bring the water up, because the fresh water is all behind those sand hills, and it just sits on top of the salt water.
Right, so you had a pump in the
shed.
shack, so you had your own fresh water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was some big sand hills behind, very high, and they seemed high when you're a kid. And we used to have pieces of tin, and we'd ski down them, on these toboggans.
Yeah. Any other sort of favourite playing spots that you had there, or landmarks?
No, we used to go out to Little Island on big, surf skis that some of the kids had there. We never had one, but I used to go out with some of the boys. We used to go out on they were not the surf skis they got now. They were about 2.5 times as long and made of plywood, They're quite big.
And you
paddle out there.
You paddle out there, so you were quite safe paddling that distance from the main.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You could all swim?
Yeah, we were all taught at school.
Yeah.
From early ages. I think from grade 3 onwards, everybody was just about compulsory. You had to learn to swim.
So what did you do when you got out to the island?
I'd just go for the run and, just for the paddle and explore and,
do what kids do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.